Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Nightly Sports Call.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a Friday night edition of the Nightly Sports Call. Right here, call us at 412-575-2600. That's the number. You can also tweet at KDPomp, at Paul Zeise. We are here talking sports until 11 o'clock. Coming up at 11, we'll have highlights of a lot of high school football games and all the scores. You'll also see those scores coming up here momentarily. In the meantime, this was a big night for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They go down to Florida, had a couple of days off, did not get fat and sassy, came out motivated, 48 shots on goal, and they beat the Florida Panthers by the final of 4-3. 3 power play goals. Tomorrow they travel to Tampa. They lost there last week. Very entertaining hockey game, 2 high-scoring teams. Tampa's been terrific. Kucherov's on fire. That would be one you'd like to see in person if you had the chance down there in Tampa, Florida. Paul Zeise of the Post-Gazette and 93.7 The Fan is here. And, Paul, this is a team that can make you pay on the power play. And that's exactly what the Penguins did tonight. 3 power play goals, including one by Connor Sheary that won the game.
And that's kind of refreshing because they've had all this talent for all these years, and we've always talked about why isn't their power play better. If they're able to continue to do that, you know, then they're going to be really difficult to beat, because if they can continue to cash in power plays the way that the referees are calling the games now, they're going to get power play opportunities. And, again, with the firepower they have, they should be good.
Oh,
They have
absolutely.
an extra man.
The nice thing about it, their second unit is good as some of the ones around the league, some of the other first units, you know. And I think when these guys, these younger guys, get opportunities, they're making the most of it. Connor Sheary had a lot of speed as he burst into the zone, beat James Reimer, who had to come into the game after Roberto Luongo got injured after he accidentally collided with Connor Sheary. So they can score it a lot of different ways. And the Penguins, Carter Rowney got a goal tonight, along with Crosby, Malkin, and Connor Sheary to win the game. So we'll see how it goes. Big game coming up on, tomorrow. Let's talk about that first. Because you have Pitt, Duke, we have Penn State, Michigan, West Virginia, Baylor. Of these 3 games, which do you think will be the most competitive?
Pitt, Duke.
You do?
I think Pitt-Duke will be a very good game because they're very similar teams. I think, you know, I expect Pitt has gotten a little better each week. Duke is what they are. I just feel like it'll be a close game. I think Penn State's going to blow Michigan's doors off. I really do. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But I think Michigan's offense is atrocious.
I do too.
And it's going to be one of those games where Penn State's going to score a little bit, you know, and Michigan's got a good defense. But eventually they're going to score that touchdown that just sort of breaks the back of Michigan. You know, you're down 20-3, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's 13-3, and Michigan has a couple of opportunities. Now it's all of a sudden Barkley runs one. It's 20-3. I could see it being like 31-10 type game.
It could be, and you know the line is double digits, and that's unusual for Michigan on the road, no matter where they are, to be that much of an underdog. But they have been terrible offensively, so I would be shocked if Penn State lost. I think the biggest challenge for Penn State will come next week, because not only does Ohio State get the home game against Penn State, they're coming off a bye. They're off this week, so Urban Meyer has a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah, I think that'll be. But I think the other game, the Michigan State game at the end of these two, could actually be the toughest, just because you go through Michigan and Ohio State, you know, all the emotions of these games, the whiteout tomorrow, all the stuff that goes on. You get through those 2 games, then you got to play Michigan State, who's actually pretty good on their home field. That could be a lot to ask for Penn State to go 3 weeks in a row and win, but I think they're the best team in the Big Ten, so I expect them to do it. West Virginia's playing Baylor, and Baylor's terrible.
Yeah, West Virginia's been pretty good, and they haven't won down there. They're going to circle this one. They should be pretty good tomorrow night. A lot of good college football. Then on Sunday, it's the big game. Actually, it's not the big game. I think the big game of the weekend is Atlanta-New England. I like that matchup just because it was a rematch of what happened. And one of these 2 teams has to start playing better football. But the Steelers and the Bengals, I expect the Steelers to win just because they lost their last home game. They don't obviously lose at home all that much. And I think Cincinnati is improving, but they're still not on the same level as the Steelers. No,
I think the Bengals, I just don't like that. I don't like Andy Dalton. I think the whole Marvin Lewis thing has to come to an end. They're just the same team. You know, I'm not a big fan of the way they do things. You know, they've got Burfict on defense, who's, you know, does what he does. I guess Pac-Man Jones is actually hurt, but I mean, they still have him. Dalton is like the consummate, just totally average quarterback. There's just nothing about this team I like. You know, by the way, one other note about Saturday. Notre Dame USC is a really good
Notre Dame USC is a very good game. I like Cincinnati's defense. I think they can make plays. I also think Joe Mixon's a pretty good runner at running back with the speed that he has. We'll see. It should be an interesting matchup. Steelers, however, will be missing some key players. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about all the fines they got today and yesterday. $90,000 when you add it all up. For what? Who got what? We'll tell you coming up right here on the Nightly Sports Call. Get on the phone and let us know what you think at 412-575-2600 right here live on Pittsburgh's CW.